Have you ever wanted to karate chop someone? Verbally, that is. Maybe being able to diffuse a bad verbal situation. We'll be discussing both, and forewarning, be careful when using these as they are powerful techniques. If implemented correctly, they'll help you deal with difficult people and situations. From George J. Thompson, a former police officer. When George was a rookie cop, he was dispatched with his partner to break up a bad domestic dispute in an area notorious for violence and drug dealing at 2 a.m. Once parked, they could hear the vicious communication between the couple from the street. Approaching the home, Bruce, the senior officer, walked into the home and sat down on the couch and opened the local newspaper and paid no attention to the angry couple fighting in their own home. The couple kept arguing and occasionally glanced at the officer sitting on their couch. They didn't notice George, and when the husband continued yelling at his wife, Bruce ruffled the newspaper and brought attention to himself, saying, Folks, over here." The husband grumbled, "What are you doing here?" Bruce said, "Can I see your phone? Look over here. There's a vehicle in phenomenal condition. It's a great opportunity, and I don't want to miss out. I need your phone right now." The husband motions to the phone. Bruce makes the call, talks into the phone, and slams it down and states, "Can you believe they wouldn't talk to me just because it's 2 a.m? The fight stopped and the cranky couple were dumbfounded. Bruce asked pleasantly, "By the way, is there anything the matter here? Anything we can do for you guys?" The couple looked down and shook their heads and said, "No, not really." The officer spoke with them for a little while longer and mentioned the neighborhood would really like some peace and quiet since it's so late, and then departed. But thinking this experience over, George was really perplexed. Why did that work when literally earlier today they handled a similar argument in the normal cop fashion? Typically, they take control by utilizing authority, separate both individuals, calm them down, and bring them back together to diffuse a situation. George was questioning, why again did we do the newspaper thing, when we could have just done the usual separate and suture method as he was trained to do? This was the discovery point for verbal judo. The sole key to verbal judo is empathy, and this doesn't mean sympathizing or agreeing or even liking the individual. Empathy is derived from the Latin word means to understand, and pathy, to see from the eyes of another. Simply utilizing empathy will enhance your communication because empathy absorbs tension 100% of the time and is the most powerful word in the English language. Next, there are 3 types of people: the nice, the difficult, and the wimps. If you've ever been in a position of authority, nice people are the people who like to cooperate. When you ask them to do something the first time, they will do it. Nice people are not your problem, and there have been many books designed to help nice people not be doormats and help give them more of a backbone. Nice people should be treated good and not overlooked, otherwise they can harbor resentment while doing as you say, which will lead to them no longer supporting your decisions and can lead to pushbacks. Deal with nice people by treating them fairly and respectfully. Difficult people. Difficult people are the opposite of nice people. They will not do what you ask regardless of how diplomatic you are. It's a part of their nature to question and ask why, what for, before they agree to do anything. These people are eager to argue as nice people are to agree. A great example of this is they will place too much emphasis on trivial or minor details. From the movie When Harry Met Sally, when Sally orders a meal, she says she'd like a chef salad with oil and vinegar on the side, an apple pie a la mode, and she'd like the pie heated, and if not, then no ice cream, just whipped cream, but only if it's real, and if it's out of the can, then nothing. "Not even the pie?" asked the waiter. "No," replied Sally, "just the pie, but then not heated." No one wants to be a waiter for Sally. The word why is a frustration for many parents and has sparked revolutions and destroyed entire countries. How to deal with difficult people. It's usually wasteful to tell them why you ask them to do something. They don't really care. What they do care about is what's in it for them. What do they have to gain and what do they have to lose? Inform them of what benefits they can have by doing X, and consequently, if they do not, what they have to lose. A tip from the author was to change your mindset to embrace the challenge and take it as an opportunity to explain why it's in the best interest to comply. America was built on difficult people, and we do need them. We just need to learn how to work with them. Now we have the elusive wimps. They sound like nice people to your face, but are difficult people behind closed doors. These are the backstabbers who act like all is fine and well, and then complain about you behind your back to anyone who listens. Wimps don't like being told what to do, but they don't have the guts to challenge you and instead seek revenge. They are difficult to detect because they typically pose as nice people. However, the best way to deal with wimps is by stripping them of their camouflage In a group setting, genuinely call them out, and be curious and let them embarrass themselves. In a private setting, be direct with them and let them know you know what they are doing and you won't put up with it. Tell them what they stand to lose as well as what they can gain if they comply. The 5-step hard style. If you allow someone to make you angry, you'll regret the next things you'll say every time. It might make you feel good in the moment, but there will be remaining damage caused to the relationship. There's a point to be made here because often we want to go on the offensive. We want to utilize verbal karate to impact the situation if someone isn't complying. However, verbal karate isn't the best route and will cause more harm than good in your relationships. Instead of utilizing powerful verbal strikes to cause damage, verbal judo utilizes empathy and 5 steps to gain voluntary compliance. The author believes that 90% of your success will depend on your delivery style here, and this will make you more effective as a friend, parent, and professional. Step 1. Ask. Ethical appeal. Set the grounds to give yourself credibility when asking the first time. Number 2. Set context. Reasonable appeal. The why behind what you are asking. Number 3. Present options. Personal appeal. Give specific options and let the individual make their own decision. A tip from the author is to paint the picture or outcome of what will happen with each choice in vivid detail. Number 4, confirm. Practical appeal. Last attempt, confirming their choice. Tone is going to be key here, and one of the phrases George likes to use is there anything I can say or do at this time to earn your cooperation? I'd sure like to think there is. Number 5, after all steps have been followed, we then have to act. Determination of appropriate action. Act and move on, follow through on the options given. An example from the book utilizing these steps was when George pulled over a man who ignored 3 stop signs. As he approached the vehicle, he noticed a whiskey bottle on the floor. He immediately commanded, "You, sir, step out." When he got the initial pushback from the man, "I'm not getting out of this car," he thought to himself and tried something different. Doing so to prevent causing any problems with his police chief, he unknowingly implemented the steps. Steps 1 and 2. Ask and set context. Adjusting his tone, he said, "Sir, you have an open bottle on the floor of your vehicle. That indicates an open bottle charge according to the law. I'm required by the law to have you step out of your vehicle and take a look at that bottle. For your safety and mine, the department policy says I have to ask you to step out. Would you do that for me, sir?" The response he got was more pushback. "I don't know anything about that bottle. I went to a party and it was at friends. Not my bottle, not my problem. I don't even drink whiskey. I'm not getting out." Despite the pushback and more out of keeping his job than anything else, he implemented step 3 and presented the options. Note how he uses empathy here. He said, "That's an interesting distinction between whether it's your bottle or your friend's. However, the law doesn't make that distinction. The law simply states, bottle and car, driver of car is responsible." Now, that might not even be fair, but it is according to the law. I'd like to think you'll cooperate with me. Step on out, sir, and I can chat with you about that bottle and why I stopped you in the first place. That way you'll be able to go home tonight. Put your feet up and be with your family. I'd like to believe that's what you'd prefer. However, the law will give you another option. If you want, you can come with us, eat with us, stay overnight, and spend an evening in a holding cell. That's called an arrest. They'll also tow your car, and it could get dinged in the process. You don't want that kind of trouble, do you, sir? Why don't you come on out and cooperate with me? He got cooperation at this point. The driver said, "I don't want that kind of trouble, officer," and stepped out of the vehicle. George was able to help the man save face and persuaded him via the first 3 steps of the process. Now, if he wasn't going to step out, George would have responded by saying, "Is there anything I can say or do at this time to earn your cooperation?" I'd like to think there is. The last attempt. And then act by making the arrest if still not compliant. This is to help you see the 5 steps in action and a visual representation of the 5-step hard style. LEAPS. Applying LEAPS to our world. LEAPS stands for listen, empathize, ask, paraphrase, and summarize. To gain a good understanding of any situation, ask people how they feel, what they want, and how they think things are going. Actively listen by repeating the last 3 words they said in your mind and not focusing on what to say next. Take notes and repeat back what they said in a summarized version to make sure you understood them correctly. Empathize with the individuals to truly understand their point of view. At this point, the goal is to understand and know what kinds of people you're dealing with. After deciding on how you'll proceed, inform the group that you've heard what they had to say and have decided on a path forward. These 5 steps will save you from trouble and create credibility with nearly anyone. Know that not everyone will agree with your decision, and taking you back to the 3 types of people, you should now know who you're dealing with and how to handle them. Improving your communication will take time and will help you build confidence in yourself and your ability. A great goal to set is to become like a chameleon, able to adapt and change as different situations arise so you can handle anything. Communication, as you've probably guessed, is a main component that leads to your success. And if you're a leader, remember that people will either admire or resent how you handle yourself in difficult situations. In closing, I'd like to leave with you what works for all, for the author often stated you simply cannot know what different cultures accept and do not. Some have hand gestures that are viewed as extreme and can even land you in jail, whereas what some of us know to be considered acceptable is clearly not in other cultures. In our vast world with multiple nationalities, these are 5 things that all people want. Number 1, all people want to be treated with respect and dignity. Number 2, all people want to be asked rather than told to do something. Number 3, all people want to be informed as to why they're being asked or ordered to do something. Number 4, all people want to be given options rather than threats. Number 5, all people want a second chance when they make a mistake. May this help you on your journey to success, and I hope you guys have a great rest of your day.